What is up, guys? It's Fishcraft here, back here with another video. And in this video, it's Memorial Day weekend. We're out fishing Lake Erie, and I thought I'd make you guys a video just sharing our setup on a small 17-foot tiller to give you guys kind of the rundown on things and how we run it. We've been coming to Lake Erie for 6 years now in a row, and we've definitely learned a lot. We started our first year not really even know how to use a planer board, but in the past couple of years we've gained a lot of knowledge coming out here, especially in a small tiller. So hopefully you guys can learn some things as I run through our setup. And don't be afraid to take a small boat out here. It's possible. You just got to be careful and go under the right conditions, look at a bunch of weather. But luckily we seem to time it pretty well every Memorial Day. As you can see, I mean, this is the days you dream of. This morning it was not like this, tell you that, but it certainly laid down this evening. So without further ado, I'll show you guys our setup. We run primarily 2 cranks on each side with a planer board, and then a dipsy rod. So we got 6 lines total. So you're allowed 3 rods a person. So that's what we run. On this side, I got this dipsy. For right now, we're fishing a little shallower, so I got about 35 on a one setting, and that's diving that way away from the boat. That's got a spoon on it. And this one, and I'm running all Shimano TDR 7-foot rods. That's all you need. They're 35 bucks. The best planer board rods for the budget. That's a Daiwa rod. I got another Daiwa reel. That's an Akuma. It doesn't matter. It does not matter the reel brand. It's whatever you prefer, whatever's the cheapest, whatever. It doesn't really matter. Don't go spending 300 bucks on a line counter reel, because it's not worth it, trust me. The $100 ones work just fine. But yeah, planer board, what I do is you always let out this line first. It's your furthest outside. Your outside line is always going to be the shallowest. So for example, that Bandit is 50 on the outside board. This one here is 100. So highest line always on the outside, deepest on the inside. What I do is, a lot of people don't talk about the board distance. What I do is I let out 70 feet of line after my crankbait for the board. So I let that board out 70 feet. So that's, 50 feet for the crank and 70 for the board, so 120 feet total. So 70 feet, I found if you're only running 2 boards is a good distance. And then for this inside board is 30 feet, so I got 130 on that counter. So there's 40 feet of distance in between the boards, and I've found that this is a pretty good distance to get them out, but not too far out to where it's kind of annoying to reel them in, and so they don't tangle. So they're close enough so they don't tangle as well. So 30 feet in between the board, sorry, 40 feet in between the board seems to work well. So again, 70 feet out for the furthest board out, and then 30 feet of line out for the closest one in. But again, when you're fishing, as long as you're not fishing early spring, I'd always have that dipsy rod out, because as a tiller boat especially, it's really easy. It's a good line, because if fish happens and you don't have to worry about taking a board off or anything. You just reel 40 feet and the fish is there. So same thing on this side. I got my high Bandit on the outside, deeper crank on the inside, and dipsy on the rod closest to the boat. And this is a 7-foot rod, and you could use a 7-foot rod, but we like using a little shorter. I think that's a 6.6 rod, but braid dipsy. So they're kind of spread out equally on the boat. Everyone has their personal preferences. You could have rod, trees, whatever, but we found out that just this separation is probably about, I don't know, at least 2 feet from each rod holder. That works great for us. So, but on a 17-foot tiller, you can probably really only run 3 lines on each side. If you run 4, it could get really hectic. I mean, sometimes when we're running harnesses, running 6 boards is just, half the time you're catching too many fish that you can really only control 4 lines. So we tend to do that. But with the Dipsy diver, it is so easy to get that thing down there and get it in the zone that, you know, you don't have to worry about it tangling at all, and it's just a really good way to get your extra lines out there. And half the time, the Dipsies are keeping up with the crankbaits. This evening, we've caught our biggest fish, 229s came on the Bandit, but I'd say we've caught 11 fish this evening, and probably 7 of those have came on the Dipsy and spoon, which is only 2 of them out. So, you know, they do really well from, you know, I'd say late April all the way until September when the fall fishing starts. But there's our setup, guys. Again, the Shimano TDR is the best budget rod. Shimano TDR, they're literally 35 bucks. Yeah, 7 foot, medium heavy is all you need. You know, you don't got to be using a 9 foot rod. It's unnecessary. As far as speed goes, it doesn't, for the most part, anywhere from, with the Dipsy divers, you're gonna have to go over 2 miles an hour. So I'd say from 2 to 2.5 is the speed we're going, which, you know, that's another thing to keep in mind is we're fishing for active fish, so we're going faster. 2 to 2.5, 2.25 is probably the sweet spot where I'd want to stay. But with the Dipsies, you got to go over 2, or else they're not going to really run right. You can probably get away with 1 3/4, but I'd say 2.25 is like the hot spot, especially for the Bandits too. And in the summertime, you're moving fast, looking for these fish, and a lot of times when the lake gets flat calm like this, and the bite slows down, we'll switch to crawler harnesses. Crawler harnesses get that slower speed control. We're like, you know, why are we marking all these fish and nothing's biting? We'll switch to harnesses, go a mile an hour with the inline weights, and smash them. So, but most of the time in the spring, you can definitely get away with running Bandits. I'd say, you know, it's usually not until July where you have to really start pulling harnesses to get your bites, but definitely a lot more effective ways trolling faster with the Bandits and spoons. So here we go. Again, we run this setup. We ran it in, you know, 5 to almost 6 footers yesterday, believe it or not, and this morning was very choppy as well. But when you're in a small boat, especially in rough waters, it helps only having 2 boards on the side, so you don't have to, you know, reduces the amount of tangles if you had 3 or 4 boards on each side. So, but yeah, Lake Erie is awesome, and it's a lot of fun on a small tiller, and it's possible. Don't be getting worried or you know, turned away from fishing the Great Lakes on a small boat, because it's possible. You just gotta know what you're doing. Safety first. Check your winds, and also your confidence too. My dad and I have been fishing Great Lakes for a long time, and we know what we can handle, and we know when to say no. So a good example was yesterday. After, you know, 2 hours of fishing in that wind, we just called it. Wasn't worth it staying out there. But now, as you can see, it's calmed down. This is just a perfect evening. And as you get later into the summer, the more stable weather you're gonna get, with you know, a lot of light winds, light west winds, which is when the small boats can't get out here. So number one thing is, you know, safety first. Check those winds, and yeah, spread your lines out, cover the water column. We're fishing 30 to 40 feet of water, and I got lines down from top of the, I got lines 10 feet down.
Fish on the outside
Oh,
board here.
yeah, here, you reel it in. All right, well, we got a fish on. Here, I'll steer the boat. I'll talk to the camera, but so this is perfect. We got a fish on. This is on the outside board. So what my dad is gonna do here is, usually the fish will go to the top once they're hooked, and see my outside board is there, so he's clear of that, and he's reeling in the outside board. That's the inside board. He's reeling in the outside board. That was a Bandit, I believe 50 back. So I'm gonna do this one-handed. Get the board. Just like that. And this is why you need 2 people when you're fishing out here. One person controlling the boat, and then one person watching the lines and doing all the lines. So looks like a good fish. Nice. Oh, and he's off. Unreal. There you go, folks. Fishing Lake Erie in a small 17-foot tiller and smashing them. That's our 12th fish this evening. Whole 2-man limit that we just released. And we also had 2 29-inchers. So be sure to check out that video, the full fishing. But hopefully you guys enjoyed just kind of a video breaking down my setup. Leave any questions you guys have in the comments, and I'd love to hear some feedback too if you have it. But hopefully you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.